I'm back. Rodrance for the Matrix and Road Show. We're going to talk about Will Smith. Now, nobody obviously condones Will Smith walking up on stage slapping the shit out of Chris Rock. We did a lot of videos on that on this channel. But I think something is happening with Will Smith right now that I don't necessarily condone and I don't like. Okay, he's got a film coming out from one of my favorite directors, Antoine Fuqua, the director of The Replacement Killers, Training Day, Tears of the Sun, Brooklyn's Finest, both Equalizer movies. The list goes on and on. Antoine Fuqua is a great director, especially a great action director. And Will Smith has a historical period movie coming out that's supposed to be an action movie that's got Ben Foster in it. Well, immediately you've got me intrigued right there because Ben Foster, I mean, he's a national treasure at this point. Okay, Will Smith's got this movie coming out, and it's supposed to be potentially Best Picture kind of worthy. Okay, and Will Smith is, it seems, and look, again, I don't condone his actions of what he did, and obviously there's a lot of effed up shit, I'm just going to keep it real, between him and Jada Pinkett, and that's on Will for staying in that crap, okay? And I think you saw some boiling over of what he has decided to put up with over the years. Dude, you got to cut the cord there, for crying out loud. But the woke Oscar voters are making a proclamation about this new movie, and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I don't like the fact that they are not even going to consider him. Not even going to consider him in his performance in this movie. I don't know if they're going to hold it against the director and the picture as a whole, or if it's just Will Smith. But right, wrong, or indifferent, this is a form of cancellation. You know, him slapping the shit out of Chris Rock, if we're just keeping it real, has nothing to do with how good his performance in this movie ends up being. Zero. Zilch. No bearing whatsoever. But these woke assholes around the Oscars are already making a proclamation that they will not and won't give Will Smith the credit he may or may not be due for this movie. Okay, and I don't know, it may be a terrible film. It may be. But making a predetermined verdict on whether or not you're going to vote for Will Smith over what happened last year, I don't love that. I can tell you. Breitbart, Oscar voters are already saying they won't cast their ballots for Will Smith and Emancipation, with some arguing it's still too soon after the actor infamously slapped Chris Rock on stage during last Oscars telecast. Now look, I don't watch the Oscars. I haven't watched the Oscars since they didn't give The Dark Knight the best picture, which was obviously the best picture that year, but they held it against it because it happened to have a comic book character in it, even though all those Nolan movies were real films. I haven't given them any credit, and they've had a political agenda, and I quit watching because of that. But this isn't right, in my opinion. Will Smith is attempting a career comeback in Emancipation, a slavery drama that Apple will release in cinemas December 2nd with a streaming debut a week later. Several Academy members told The Hollywood Reporter under the condition of anonymity, put your name on it, put your name out there, that they would not vote for Smith under any circumstances. Really? What if he far and away destroys everybody else in their performance on screen? What does that have to do with Chris Rock? I mean, I just don't get it. What does that have to do with Chris Rock and what happened last year? That's not what you're supposed to be here for. You're supposed to be here for Will Smith's performance as an actor and his movie, Emancipation. You canceling sons of bitches. I don't like this. Quote, would I vote for Smith? No effing way. His shameful, violent outburst, pathetic, sniveling acceptance diatribe witnessed by millions, and his blatant disrespect of the Academy should preclude him from any consideration and reward from APUS members for life, said a member of the producers branch. No chance would I vote for him. However, I support the release of Emancipation, said the member of the Academy's directors branch. You got to wonder, is there going to be roots and tentacles off this that come off that will keep Antoine Fuqua from directorial best director consideration, best picture consideration? Because in isolation, I don't know what this film is even about. Okay, I'll probably watch it, to be honest with you, with Fuqua directing it. Quote, I think more time should go by before Will Smith is considered for any award. I'm surprised Emancipation is being released, but I assume it's for financial reasons as well as hoping for award nominations, says a member of the actors branch. Would I vote for Will Smith? Not a chance, said a member of the executive branch, which represents Hollywood studio executives. Are we talking about the same Hollywood that seemed to wrap their loving arms around Harvey Weinstein for as long as I can remember? That moral high ground, is that the Hollywood we're talking about right now? Wow. Nominating Will Smith would be a slap in the face to the Academy, said a music branch member. Quote, I hope members of the Academy stick to their guns and ignore any award consideration for Mr. Smith, said a sound branch manager. Aren't you brave and stunning? I would not vote for him if he is nominated. I think the decision is gross and insulting. I have nothing against the guy, but what he did, no thanks, said the member of the marketing and public relations branch. Some Oscar voters told the reporter they would consider voting for Smith if his performance merits it. That's it. That's all I care about. We should judge the work, not the actor's life and personality, said one Academy member. In March, Will Smith physically assaulted comedian Chris Rock live at the Oscars after Rock told a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's bald head. The same evening, Will Smith won his first Oscar for his performance in King Richard. Following the incident, which he has become one of the most infamous moments in Oscar history, Smith voluntarily resigned from the Academy. The organization's board of governors later sanctioned the actor by banning him from all official events for the next 10 years. So, look, he may have taken himself out of the running. And again, look, I don't condone his actions on Chris Rock at all. In fact, to be honest with you, I think it created a dangerous precedent for comedians going forward, potentially. We saw somebody rush the stage on Dave Chappelle. I'm not going to condone that shit. But one thing we are absolutely doing in society, and I don't like it, is we have devalued performance and merit. How good is the performance? Was a great performance? Was it a performance that you know, outside of what Will Smith did, is it a performance that you know damn good and well you would have voted for him in the past? If the answer is no, just because of what happened last year, I do have an issue with that. We got a serious problem with not being able to forgive and move on with certain things. Now, Harvey Weinstein, they should launch his ass into space, never to be seen again, okay? But Will Smith had one fuck up, and it was a very public fuck up, and it shouldn't have happened. But if he turns in an Oscar performance, or is woke Hollywood really taking the moral high ground on this one? Really? You sickos? Okay. Whatever. I mean, I don't like this. Blatantly saying, I'm not doing it. Come on. I mean, I think that's ridiculous too. Tell me what you think, Matrix and Roadshow fans. I expect to fully get downvotes on this video. I do. But I don't relate one to the other whatsoever. I don't. Okay? If this was an O.J. Simpson situation, yeah, I'd be like, look, just remove the whole film. Because, yeah, that is so extreme, I get it. But this? Come on now. I mean, at some point, everybody's got to move on from the slap heard around the world, and it was big. I get it. But for Hollywood to be playing morals and values, no, F that. I'm going to call you out on that. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.